10 more podcasts. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go apply and be on hopefully all of them, but we know that doesn't always happen. So apply to 10 Tonight. My podcast database, I update it twice a week. So if you think you've applied to all the shows on there and it's been more than a week, go reapply. I want you to do something different. Oh, I need to go through those last 2 steps. Then you need to finish your hero's journey. Oh, I threw a party on Instagram. I got mixed up. I need you to do your exercise, then your call to action, and then you're going to finish your hero's journey. And let's talk about that call to action. So when I said I've written 16 books, these are the books. These are just the ones I wrote this year. You can see a few of my books in there. You can see books I've written for other people in there. This is the thing that I find that most speakers are missing. This is the thing that I find that most coaches are missing. Even if you've already written a big, fat, chunky book like this, sometimes that's not always your tripwire. This is your most powerful conversion tool, and this is in the spirit of giving. You're going to condense everything that you know into 12 to 18 pages and just give it away. And some people will take what you've written and run with it, and that's all they need, and that's awesome. And some people will say, oh my gosh, that was 12 pages. That was a nice little nibble. I need more. Can you give me more? Can you give me more? How do I get more? How do I get your help? Can you hold my hand? And those are the conversations I love to have because yes, we can do more together. Let's like couple our ships together and just run with this thing. But this is really important. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit on how to create this. I don't usually talk about this, but I want to just give you a nibble, like a little bit extra. You guys okay with a little bit extra? Okay, good. Okay. So when you are creating your tripwire or your lead magnet, I use those words interchangeably. First of all, I don't want it to be super long. I don't want it to be a 150-page book because a lot of times people don't want to read 150 pages. They either want 1 page or a 12-page guide. They want something small, and if they like it, they'll get more, right? Just like the samples that they hand out at Costco. If I like this one, I'll come back for more, or I'll go to the fridge and get the bigger thing. Then I like to leverage ChatGPT. Now, I will say this warning, ChatGPT can be overused, and I don't like it. If your stuff ever says embark on a journey, that's your telltale sign that you use ChatGPT without putting your lipstick on it. Don't do that. But when you go to ChatGPT and you tell it this information, hey, you're an expert at this, and you train ChatGPT to be an expert. By the way, if you want this prompt, write this down. You're going to tell ChatGPT what it's an expert in, and heads up, that's you. Like if you're an expert health person, if you're an expert bodybuilder, if you're an expert, whatever your expertise is, throw it in the chat. Tell me what your expertise is. If you're an expert at overcoming trauma, if you're an expert at surviving 15 surgeries, if you're an expert at reorganizing your home. One of my favorite examples of a speaker was a lady by the name of Sarah, Richard, what's her last name? I can never remember Sarah's last name. He's going to look it up for me. But listen, oh, Derek, what's up, man? I've seen a bunch of you. This speaker, her last name is Sarah
Blakely.
I don't know how many of you know that name. She invented Spanx, friends. If you can get on stage and talk about women's underwear and make money, then the world's your oyster, dude. You can talk about anything and make money doing it. I don't care what your expertise is. You're going to tell ChatGPT what it's an expert in. And then you're also going to tell ChatGPT that it is a New York Times bestselling author. And then you're going to tell ChatGPT, I want you to write me a book based on your expertise. The book gets to be no more than 12 pages. And you're also going to tell ChatGPT, if you've already experienced delivering your keynote, the 3 content pieces that you want in the book. And then you're going to have it spit out the book. You're going to go through it and edit it. Please don't copy and paste blind. You're going to go through and put your lipstick, your makeup on it, make it yours. You're going to import it into Canva, which I'm going to give you a template for if you're a part of my Mastery Hive. And then you're going to put your colors in it, your brand colors, your logos, and then you're going to export the PDF. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Right? Now you've got your tripwire, and now you have something to give away every time you get on stage. And when you give that away, by the way, you don't post that PDF to the internet. You post it to either a QR code where they have to give you their name, email, and phone so you can actually deliver the thing. But if you post your PDF to the world, then you're not getting leads. And I don't want you to go without. I have a friend. This is going to hurt many of your hearts. I have a friend with over 3 million followers, and her lead list, her email list is 12 people long. So if she loses access to her TikTok account, she is screwed because you don't own your TikTok account. You don't own your Instagram. You don't own your Facebook page. You don't own anything out there. You're renting space. And once that space gets hacked or once it shuts down, we know that Meta crashes from time to time, you're done. Hopefully not forever, but it will interrupt you. I want you to own your database, and it needs to be done in a CRM. Raise your hand if you don't know what a CRM is. A CRM is a customer relationship management software, and when you're in the Mastery Hive, we include it because I want you to use this tool to make money speaking. Okay, let's keep going here. This is the last part of it. This is where all of your audience, everyone that's ever listened to you online, on social media, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Zoom, on YouTube, all of these people are your audience. They're eyeballs, and we want to convert those eyeballs with your offer into leads, which then become buying customers. And these are raving fans. These are not people that are just on the fence and mamby-pamby. These are people that know, like, and trust you and that you get to work with. This is the simplified sales formula. First of all, you need to take care of those people. So once they're generous enough to give you their email, then you continue to feed them value. You're going to email them actual helpful things. Many of you have gotten emails from me about podcast episodes, or I'll share this tip, or I'll tell you about this thing that's going on, or this event. Then you're going to send out offers for more values, maybe by having a one-on-one meeting. Many of you have met with Kai. He's one of my coaches that helps people walk through their specific game plan, because with 150 leads a week that we're getting, I can't talk to everybody. So I brought on a coach that can help me, and we walk through the game plan together. And then you're going to diagnose the pain. What's dysfunctional? What's not working? Maybe you're getting on stage, but you're not making money doing it. Let's figure that out. Maybe you're just missing a tripwire. Maybe you don't have any software. Maybe you're just using Google Sheets to keep track of your email addresses, and that's not working. Maybe you're not regularly taking care of your people. We got to figure out what's not working and then fix it. If your program can fix their pain, that's a win-win. That's success. Then you take care of funding, and then you give them what you promise. And you all know this, over-deliver. Overdo it. I'm constantly listening to the people in my community that say, hey, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? And the moment I hear it often enough, if I hear it from 2 different people, then it becomes something I create for the masses. I'm not trying to carve a hole in the market. I'm already filling holes that are already in the market. Raise your hand if this is making sense. Okay, good. All right, so what is your next step? Let's take a look at this. By the way, if you've had some gold nuggets, throw those in the chat. If there's something tonight that has been valuable to you, I want to know what it is. I want to know what the most valuable part of the training up until this point has been. Richard's got your Q&As. He's keeping a file of those, so he's going to be addressing those in just a minute. But I want to know what has been the most valuable part for you tonight, or what is the one new thing you learned? I want to hear your gold nuggets. That's in fact why I have this gold brick back here. I was at an event and I said, share your gold nuggets. And this guy literally spray painted a brick and he gave it to me. He's like, I got this much value. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm keeping that. And then now you know my backdrop's not fake. Okay, good. Awesome. Your lipstick on it. I love that. Okay, good. Good. My next step is December 6th. Some of you are going to come hang out with me on December 6th. Boom. Okay. Honor says, I need to create better lead magnets. The way you create better lead magnets, I'm getting ahead of myself with the Q&A, but the way you create better lead magnets is by literally polling your audience and asking them what hurts the most. And that's a very generic way of saying, when I go on social media, I'll say, what's the hardest part about getting on stages? What's the hardest part about speaking? What's the toughest way to, what are you encountering? So that's what I want to know. Let me tell you what we're doing. Let me condense this down and get myself out of the way here. Number 1, here's your next step. Use my podcast database that I've aggregated for you to get on stages. If you need help getting on any stages, podcasts are a fantastic way to start. You don't have to have a keynote ready. Doesn't have to be very long. You just have to answer questions and be able to speak competently and confidently about your expertise. Number 2, Use the proven signature presentation, even if you're not on a podcast, and the blueprint to deliver a compelling speech. This is a proven framework that has been used hundreds of thousands of times. I wish I could say I had invented this thing. I didn't. It was around long before I was born. Watch any of Tony Robbins' speeches. Watch any of Mel Robbins' speeches. Watch any of speeches through time and history. Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln. They follow this framework. Number 3, gather your leads with your tripwire. You have to have something for them to say yes to. You have to have something for them to say yes to. I was once in an event with Pete Vargas, who is Grant Cardone's right-hand man. There were 300 people in the room, and the guy said, how many of you want to make more money from stage? Of course, everyone raised their hand. And he said, how many of you, if I held up my credit card, he pulled it out, could actually sell me a $500 program? And of course, everyone raised their hand, but then he got more specific. He said, how many of you have a payment processor with a product in it right now that you could pull up and I could pay? And only 6 people raised their hand. If you want revenue, you got to cut a path for people. You have to have a payment processor, you have to have a viable product, and you have to have a way to fulfill it. So this is part of what we're doing. Then 4, you're going to upsell the right people and bring in revenue that sustains your business. And when I say the right people, these are the kinds of people that I want you to talk about. People like Renee. Renee is one of my favorite people to work with. If you've ever been to one of my live events, she's usually there. She'll be there on December 6th. But after 20 years as an expert in her field, she started her own podcast. Now, I got to tell you about Renee, and I think she'd be okay with me saying this. Renee, if you're watching, like, this is a word that I'm going to steal from you. She's a self-proclaimed tech-tard, is what she calls herself. And she's not letting her inexperience with any CRMs or social media get in the way. She's out there and she's doing it and she's making it happen. She lives in California and comes to my studio to record podcasts constantly. And she's made over 5,000 so far this year. Now, that number may not look very big to you. Maybe it does. But this $5,000 represents proof that this works. Her first $5,000 as it's dripped in with this $120 sale and this $150 sale, it is proof that her message works. It is proof that her solution helps people. And it is more money than she's made anything else doing on her own. And one day, it's going to retire her husband. One day, it will replace that W-2. She's going to put that W, and she doesn't work anymore. All she does is this, but it's going to replace that because now she has control. She has control over her own message. She has control over her own paycheck. And speaking from someone who used to work from someone else, I've practiced the W-2 game. I know what it's like to ask my boss for my own time. I know what it's like to miss out on my children's soccer tournaments and the basketball games. I had a baby and then went back to work 6 weeks later, 6 times in a row. I know what it's like to shut the blinds in my office and have to pump for my baby. I know what it's like to have to try to find that disgusting balance. I don't believe in balance. I believe in harmony. And now I live a life where everything I do supports everything else I do. I don't seek for balance anymore. I seek for harmony. And more often than not, I experience it. And that's what I'm shooting for. When what we do as a family supports our family and what we do for this supports our family and our family supports this. My kids are part of this. They run events with me. It's the best feeling in the world. And I want other people to have that too. Type in me in the chat if you're one of the people that I get to help get on stage. Type a me in the chat if you think you're one of the people that I get to help get on stage. Because I got to tell you, once we strap rockets to your ship, prepare for liftoff. Awesome. Let's show you what this looks like. Now, I told you before, I'm going to tell you about my program. I don't know if it's perfect for you or not, but if you're not willing to invest $1,000 into your dream, what kind of dream do you have? That's the question. If your dream isn't worth at least $1,000 investment, even if it's not here, then you might want to question that a little bit. I want your business to have what it takes to launch, and that does require some time and investment. I want you to learn from someone who, together with my clients and partners, we have so far brought in over $54 million, and I want your millions to tick that number up. I want you to be a part of the community. I'm looking for speakers that I can recommend. I'm looking for speakers that I can put on stage. I'm looking for speakers that I can endorse. I'm looking for speakers that have so much integrity, that are doing so much good in the world, that when I recommend you to stages, I am proud to put my name on you. And I don't take that lightly because my name and my reputation are all I've got. Okay, let me tell you what we're talking about. Okay, I'm going to take myself off screen here so you can see this fully. Okay, I have something called the Mastery Hive. Here's what this looks like. When you get into the Mastery Hive, we meet Wednesday nights, but there's going to be more to it. And when you get started, I'm going to give you all of the previous trainings that we have recorded up until this point, so you're not without anything, so you can catch up, okay? I'm also going to give you my Introduction to Sales Mastery course. This is a course I recorded based on my experience running a multi-million-dollar sales floor, running a team of about 200 people that came through. I got those, gosh, my sales guys, when they started getting off of their government assistance and when they started paying off their bills and when they started getting out of their credit card debt, there was no better feeling. I'm also giving you my speaker media kit template. So when it's time for you to go to other stages, you have a one sheet that looks super swanky and you can put that in front of event planners. I'm also giving you my speaker ebook template. This is the ebook template in Canva that I use to create the tripwire. I'm going to give you the template and you can replace the colors and your logos and all that fun stuff. Is that pretty cool? Good. I'm just trying to cut corners for you guys. I'm going to give you 24/7 community access. Now, if you find this community on School, you will pay for it, but when you're in the member of the Mastery Hive, it comes included. And this is where we critique each other's keynotes. This is where we're critiquing each other's one pages. This is where we're helping each other find clarity in our messaging. We also have an affiliate program because there are people that you can find that I won't. So we give you a 10% affiliate, right? We also have weekly training calls. Here's the cool thing. We have our Wednesday night call where we go through all of these steps of the signature keynote and how to make money from stage. But I just polled my audience earlier this week. They said, Marianne, we want you to do another call during the week and we want you to talk mindset. And we want you to do another call during the week. We want you to do a hot seat for keynotes and presentations. And I said, okay, let's do it. And Kai, this is probably news to you too. I don't know if we talked to you about this yet. We're incorporating more calls during the week. And we're going to be doing hot seats where you refine your keynote, and we're going to be doing mindset training and whatever else is needed. If there's a need that's heavy enough, we're going to add a call for it. And eventually I'll be looking for coaches to take over those calls, coaches that I can pay to run those calls. We'll do a call on sales too. We're going to have a booking team coming soon. I just interviewed 2 people, one of them yesterday. We're putting together a proposal. So, and by the way, I need to certify you if you're going to be on my booking team. I can't just book you if I haven't seen your keynote and I can't speak to it, okay? So my booking team is coming online soon. When that happens, the price of the Mastery Hive is going to go up because I got to pay my booking team. I'm also going to be giving you, when this comes in, the signature presentation mini course. It's a little tiny course. By the way, if you get in now, if tonight's the night for you, when this booking team comes online, you're not going to pay extra. You're just going to be grandfathered in. Okay, so when the price of the Mastery Hive goes up, if you're in, your price is grandfathered. So the annual access, there's going to be a $4,000 discount tonight. Guys, I got to tell you about this. I don't know how many of you have a CRM or not, but I just look at me right now. Okay. This is probably the most valuable part of what we do. My husband, you can't see him, but you will see him from time to time. If you looked at my reel today, I snuck him in there. He is a brilliant artist with technology. He's the guy, by the way, that found out Snapchat wasn't actually throwing your pictures away and they were keeping them on their server and lying about it. So if you research Richard Hickman, you're going to find that about him. But he has built our entire back end on our CRM, from the stage conversions to the tripwires to the emails to the text blast to even automated things. If you're on Instagram right now and you go comment podcast on any one of my posts, you get the podcast database. How many of you would like to have that entire system available to you as part of your membership? Copying and pasting all of the automations, copying and pasting all of the email sequences, everything that we have built in our Go High level is yours. Done. Copy, paste. It's all yours. If you're paying for ManyChat and you're paying for HubSpot and you're paying for, God forbid, Keep or Infusionsoft, just throw that one away right now. If you're paying for all of these other CRMs, yeah, Jeremy, you know the pain. Guys, I'm telling you right now, the cost of the Mastery Hive, it's stupid right now when you add up all the costs of these other programs, okay? And then we're also going to include your spouse, because Richard and I do this together. We want your spouse included. By the way, High Level on its own is usually $97 a month, and it's included in the Mastery Hive, okay? That's usually what it's in, and we're just going to give it to you because we want you to be successful with this. So our typical annual price when we onboard everything is going to be $5,000 a year. That's what it's going for. But because you're here tonight, I haven't launched that price yet. You're probably one of the last 2 groups of people that we're going to be offering this to. And the people that take advantage of this tonight, we're going to give you $4,000 off. I don't want you to miss that. It's going to be annual access for $997. And that buys you a year of your Go High level, which, guys, that's cheaper than going Go High level on its own. If you just go get Go High level on its own, you're going to pay $1,200 straight from them. But we're going to include it for $1,000. You're already getting 20% off of that. I'm going to give you my time, Wednesday nights, everything I can do to answer your questions. I'm in my community. Oh, I didn't even show you these slides. I'm in my community every single day. I'm personally responding to questions. I have as much touch as possible. And yes, sometimes it keeps me up to midnight. That's what I was doing last night before I fell asleep, is responding to you. And I know that can't be forever, but I do it as much as I can. And until I onboard my coaches, I'm going to touch everything personally. I'm going to be giving you all the previous recordings. I'm just going to be loading you up because you are my first wave of people. You are my first huge part of the speaker wave that I know needs to hit the planet. And we've been running this for a year now, and it's been absolutely incredible. And I need to get more speakers on stage. I need more goodness to be happening out there. So I want to make it as accessible as possible, but I know I can't do it at this price forever. It's just not sustainable for us. But this is where I want to get you in if now makes sense for you. That link is in the chat, by the way, if you know it's time to get in now. Okay, we're going to do Q&A in just a second. We've also got that giveaway for you, so give me just a second. I want to show you this. I'm going to get myself off screen here. This is, I told you about 11 steps in this formula. You can screenshot this if you want. I took the 4 most important steps and I condensed it down for you tonight, but these are the 11 steps for the speaker journey. We've got everything to defining your expertise, your keynote, your tripwires, taking the stage, how to sell, how to fulfill, how to build out your value ladder so you're creating products that people actually want and launching them in a sequence that actually gets you sales, how to scale that by getting on more stages and fulfilling and getting your time back, how to introduce automation through your CRM that we include, and how to get more of your time back, how to analyze your numbers so that you know which numbers are weakest and you can pull those up. And then, of course, helping you patch all of those holes, and we circle back right onto your next tripwire and repeat the process over and over and over again. Now, some of you probably have some of these elements already, but if you're doing them out of order, it's like putting the cake in the oven before you put the eggs in. That doesn't work. It does not a cake make. You might have all the ingredients, but they might be out of order. Or you might be missing one. All right, you can't make a cake without flour. Well, yes, you can, and they're freaking delicious. But that's besides the point. That almond flour cake, oh, so freaking good. But I want you to have all of these ingredients. I want you to have them in the right order because this is a sustainable, repeatable formula that not only I use, but other people use as well. I teach this formula. I've seen this formula, and you've probably seen it too, but I want you to have access to it. This is the back end of it. Okay, I'm going to take this off the screen in 3, 2, 1 so you can get our screenshot. And we're back. Okay, now I want to show this slide right here. Again, as soon as our booking team is onboarded, this annual price goes to $5,000 a year. As soon as our signature presentation mini course is onboarded, that will trigger that as well. But you guys are in now at this price. This is what I want you to know. Okay, Rich, I think we have some Q&As queued up. I'm going to leave this. Well, actually, you posted it in the chat, so I'm going to put myself on camera so we can answer those questions. And we've also got to give away their stuff. Oh, the vacation. You want me to talk vacation? No, never mind. I was like, wow, are we taking vacation? Just gave me a cue card, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Okay.
No, so our first question that we'll go over, and we'll do the Q&A. We'll do the Q&A, and then I'll post the link to the giveaway after we get through the Q&A. But our first question comes from someone on YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
They posted this a little bit earlier. I think they were a little bit confused, but it is probably worth a little bit of a discussion. Sure. They wanted to know what is a catering chef. Oh. And I know that might seem a little bit crazy
Very
off.
niche.
But talk about that for a second.
Okay, so this is a business that you can definitely take to the stage. In fact, I was just talking to someone today that is sponsoring one of our meals at our event. So if you cater events, right? Or you bring food to events, that's a catering chef. And I've got someone that's taking the stage on December 6th because he took his catering to a whole pizza company, and now he's speaking on stage and growing his company through that. Oh, yes, okay. I was like, what does that cue card even mean? Here's the thing I want you to envision, though. In fact, close your eyes and take a deep breath in with me. Forget about all the information. Forget about all of the steps. Forget about all of the processes. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Go to that moment right after your keynote is over. Go to that moment when that person from the audience, almost with timidness, comes up to you, but with a fair amount of bravery. And they look you in the eye with tears streaming down their face because they listened to your message and they listened to your story and they felt empowered and inspired by it. What is that feeling like? What does it feel like? And in fact, I want you to type in the chat. I want you to tell me what this person from the future says to you right after you get off stage. What do they tell you about how you changed their life? It's a satisfying feeling, but I want you to type in the chat. What are the words that they use when you get off that stage, whether or not they join your programs? Because there are many ways to be compensated for your work. And yes, you should be compensated financially. But I got to tell you, the moment that I stepped off stage and I had a mother walk up to me. And she said, "You probably don't know me. I was at an event 3 months ago where you spoke. And you pulled my son up on that stage and you just did a small demonstration with him. But here's what you didn't know, Marianne. What you didn't know is my son was on the verge of throwing in the towel that night. We're talking deep level. My son was on the verge of expiring his birth certificate, if you know what I mean. And because you saw him and because you pulled him up on that stage, he's still here. This is the real reason why we do what we do. I don't want you to judge whatever your expertise is as anything other than life-saving, even if it's Spanx. Maybe that's the thing that gives someone the confidence to go forward another day. I don't care if you are a graphic designer. I don't care if you're a caterer. I don't care if you're a health and fitness guru. I don't care if it doesn't matter. The reason that you have this gift is to help improve the lives of others. The reason that you went through what you went through and you're still here today is that you have a responsibility to help someone else that's going through the same thing. That's why you went through what you went through and you're here. And you have 100% success rate. Do you know how I know? You're logged in, your heart's beating, you're here. You woke up this morning. And I got to tell you, not everyone have that privilege. And because you're here, you have a responsibility. Viktor Frankl, in his book, The Man's Search for Meaning, he said, on the other side of the United States should be erected a statue, the statue of responsibility, because with our freedom comes the responsibility to first help ourselves, and then when we are served, help another. And that is our responsibility. That is our calling. So if anything has ever kicked you in the chest and said, you get to get on stage, don't put it off another day. I want to see these comments. Oh, this is my favorite part. Thank you for being brave to tell your story to me, only to me. It was just for me. Even if in a room of thousands of people. Thank you. I've been stuck for so long and now I see a way out. I see that it's possible. I am seen. I am loved. I am enough. Spanx is life-saving. Right? Jeremy says, I agree. I'm a recovered addict with an obligation to share my story. Those are the people I want to work with. Those are the people I want in my universe. I was interviewing, I was just chatting with Kevin, actually. Kevin Hines, I mentioned him earlier. This man is a survivor of a Golden Gate Bridge jump, which never happens. It's an incredible story of how it happens. He says he lives in pain daily physically from the ramifications of that jump. And he is on a mission to take the stage and help find people before they hop on that bridge. Same with Alton. And I could say the same thing about every single person in my Mastery Hive because I know them well enough and I know their missions. And that's why I want to get them before the world. It's never been easier. It's never been easier to take the stage. It's never been easier to make your message heard. It's never been easier to make a living based on what you know how to do. It's never been easier. And you deserve to have it. Amber, I'm so happy you made it tonight. Thank you for being here. Okay, I just had to tell that, and I wanted you to feel that, and I wanted you to feel the gratitude in advance from the people that are going to hear your keynote. Rich, let's go to some more Q&A.
Yeah, someone else asked, how do I monetize my podcast?
Oh, how do I monetize my podcast? Does anyone else want to go into this? I love podcast monetization. Okay, I'm going to tell you a couple ways. First of all, your Tripwire. That should be available in the show notes for every single one of your episodes that you produce, your Tripwire. We like to produce interview episodes every Sunday, and then 2 to 3 times throughout the week, we produce single talking head episodes. And our Tripwire is in every single one of the comments. So you can monetize your podcast by putting your Tripwire in your body of your show notes. The second way to monetize your podcast is through YouTube and Spotify monetization. Now, it's going to take some time to build that up. It's going to require consistency in posting on your part. You need a certain number of subscribers and watch hours and so forth, but you can get paid through those channels. But again, that's not the biggest money you're going to make. I think we make $250 a month through YouTube with our podcast, which is great. I'm not going to say no to it, but it's not our biggest moneymaker. This next one is from networking and relationships. I have had people on my show that this is an indirect tie, but there is a tie. I've had people on my show that then refer me to other stages where I post my giveaway and then I get paid because I have people jump in. You can also, if your podcast gets big enough, you can be sponsored and do brand deals. Like, for example, Fiji Water. Maybe Stanley, if you're listening, I'll take your money. You want to be on my show? That's fine, right? You can get featured and do brand deals on your show. And you can also sell sponsorship spots on your podcast. So if you take Modern Wisdom, for example, one of the most listened to podcasts out there, they do 3 kind of commercials that are sponsored posts at the beginning of their podcast. And the owner of those companies paid for that time. So that's another way you can monetize your podcast. So there's 4 ideas for you. Awesome. Derek says, with my music, I've had a young girl said my track is love haters because she was being bullied and gives her confidence. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, awesome. There's 4 ideas to monetize your podcast. Rich, do you have any more?
Okay, yeah. Another question is, what times are the weekly training calls?
Oh, great question. Okay, so the weekly training calls, the current one is 7 p.m. Mountain Time. However, if you always have your kids' volleyball game at that time, they are recorded. So make sure that you're going to get the content no matter what, but we do like to have you there live. The other training calls, we honestly don't know what time during the week we're going to release those. I need to do some audience research on that and make sure I get the most available times based on you. So I'll be polling our audience when we release those calls to make sure we get the best time for you. Great question.
Okay, and last question came in a little bit earlier. Someone asked, how do I take what my passion, my message, that thing, how do I take that and turn that into an actual keynote?
Like we just said, that 10-step, okay? Your passion, your expertise, your experience. I'm going to give you that book. Richard, is it time to post that giveaway?
Yeah, I'm going to post that link in a second.
Check out the chat in just a second. We're going to be posting the link to download all of these resources. Who was that, by the way? Who asked that question?
I believe that was Jeremy.
Okay.
I wasn't keeping track. I apologize.
No, Jeremy
Maybe
says
not
it's
Jeremy.
not him, but whoever it was.
I apologize.
The second goodie in your goodie bag for being here tonight is your 10-step signature keynote book. It's one of my tripwires. I just give it to you guys because I want you to have it. It is a 12 to 18 page. I can't remember how many pages I finished it, but this is the framework where you're going to take your story, your experience, your passion, and put it into a 10-step keynote that then you can take to the stage. I was talking to Layla earlier today, and she speaks on infusing our children and our communities and our schools with health. Now, she's been put through the ringer for this because of her strong opinions, but she had her story and she's bringing it to the stage, and the person that's helping her build her slides on her staff said, I took a little bit of your story out because you don't know the audience. And I said, Amy, don't do that. I don't want you to don't take Layla's story out. That is the most powerful, compelling, connective part of your entire signature keynote. Your story needs to be in there. Now, I will say this. If you haven't healed from the wounds that you experience in your story is not ready for the stage. Criers are not buyers. People won't buy from you if they pity you. You need to be able to tell a story that you've healed from and that you've learned some lessons from. That's the whole point. If you went through something or because you went through something, there's no if about it. We've all been through stuff. We all lived through 2020. We've been through stuff, right? If you've been through something and you came out the other side and you're better because of it, that's your content. How did you do it? How did you get through it? When I tell people I went from food stamps to financial freedom through the power of public speaking, this is it. This is my story. And I share this on stage whenever I take the stage. Now, I also like to cater to my audience. So if I know I'm speaking to only moms, I talk a little bit more about the mom aspect. If I know I'm speaking to divorced single moms, then I include a little more details to be relevant to that audience, but it's the same story. Demery says, I've definitely gotten much more value from your presentation tonight than I have from any others. Oh, what a beautiful thing to say. Thank you, my friend. I've been on 4 of these with another one tomorrow outside. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy, for that feedback. I'm so glad it was valuable for you. That's what I want to do. I want to provide value to the world. Awesome. Awesome. Do we have other questions, Rich, that we want to address? I want to make sure I address everybody's questions. This is the last call. I will stay as long as we are fielding those questions so I can answer everything for you.
No more questions came through on the chat. If anyone else has any other questions, be sure to drop them in the chat right now. We'll definitely hit them.
Okay, awesome. We'll give that a minute. I want to throw this back up. If you want the link to get started, if you know of being part of the Mastery Hive, you want to be a part of the community, you want to be with other like-minded speakers, and you want all of the goodies that we're putting together, ultimately, to get you on the right stages with the right people so you can change the right lives. This is how I'm doing it, and this is how we're going to do this together. I got to tell you what, last night was an incredible night. I wish Dean was on this call so he could walk you through it. Alton, I know that you're probably on Instagram still. If you were on that call that night, you got to see some real passion and power unleashed because, guys, once you get into the community, the gloves come off. The gloves come off. We are getting real with each other. We are getting raw with each other. And we are just, I don't know if you've ever seen Dead Poet Society. Robin Williams was one of my heroes. May he rest in peace. But there's this moment in Dead Poet Society where the kid doesn't do his homework, right? And he's like, oh, I'm too cool for poetry. And then Robin Williams puts him up on the stage and he says, close your eyes, just like we did a second ago. What do you see? And then this emotion starts to come out. This passion starts to come out. In the Mastery Hive, I cannot sit here and tell you that it's easy. It wasn't easy for the David to be carved out of a block of marble by Michelangelo. It wasn't easy for the Sistine Chapel to be painted. It wasn't easy for any classic piece of art that you can think of. It wasn't easy to build Rome. It wasn't easy to do, but it was possible with relentless dedication. And these things that withstand the test of time, these things that become the legacy, the mark that you leave on the planet, because you had the guts enough to say something when most other people would stay silent. When you had the guts to say, yeah, that's what I went through, and yeah, this is how I can help you through it. I want you to live a legacy that outlives you. I want people to be speaking your name long after you're gone. God forbid that happens anytime soon. We don't want that. But I don't want you to act as if we have time. Everything on the shelf behind me has meaning, and let me share this with you. I keep this with me to remind me that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And when I go to bed at the end of every day, I want to know that I left everything on the table, that I did everything I was called to do, because only then can I sleep peacefully at night. Those are the people I want to hang with. Oh, yep, Atomic Habits. Great book. Okay, guys, I'm going to put this back up here. If this is for you, this is where to go. The link is also in the chat. I don't see any other questions coming through. Richard, did I miss any?
No more.
Okay, awesome. Honor, I see you on YouTube and on Instagram. You must have me on stereo over here. Friends, thank you for being here tonight. It's an honor. Please keep in touch, and we might be seeing some of you in the Mastery Hive. Take care, my friends.